Mike never really enjoyed being a singer. And what I mean by that is he did it because he could. It was an opportunity.
Boyz II Men is one of the most famous music groups in the world. But did you know they have some dark secrets? What if their success was hiding things they didn't want fans to know?
And I know eventually we'll be together.
Are there stories behind the scenes that they kept from the public? What are these disturbing secrets, and why did they try to keep them hidden? Let's take a closer look at what happened.
Good to see you guys have been together since high school.
Oh, yes. We all met at the High School for Creative and Performing Arts. We officially formed the group in 1988.
A group of 4 young singers from Philadelphia took the music world by storm with their first album, Cooley High Harmony. These talented guys, Nathan Morris, Wanya Morris, Sean Stockman, and Michael McCary, started as just kids with big dreams. They met at the Philadelphia High School for Creative and Performing Arts and began singing together. But their road to fame wasn't an easy one. It all began when Nathan Morris, who loved music, started studying classical and jazz music. He wanted to create something special that mixed beautiful harmonies with deep lyrics. Nathan and a few friends from school formed a group called Unique Attraction. They even bought cheap suits and performed at a Valentine's Day concert. They sounded amazing, and their synchronized dance moves helped them stand out.
So now you guys were singing in the bathroom, and who came in to go to the bathroom?
Mike.
That'd be you, Mike.
Yes.
You came in just having a go.
Yes.
And what, you started singing?
I started singing a bass line to what they were doing.
As time went on, the group became a 4-member team and changed their name to Boyz II Men, inspired by a song from the group New Edition. One day they got a chance to meet New Edition, and with a little luck and hard work, they impressed Michael Bivins, a member of New Edition. He loved their version of Can You Stand the Rain and decided to help them. Michael Bivins got them signed to Motown Records and even co-wrote songs with them. He helped them create their debut album.
Can you stand the rain?
In 1991, Boyz II Men released their first hit song, Motownphilly. The song mixed smooth singing with upbeat hip-hop sounds and became a huge hit. It reached number 3 on the Billboard charts. Next, their song, It's So Hard to Say Goodbye to Yesterday, also became a success, reaching number 2 on the charts. But their biggest hit was End of the Road, which stayed at the top of the charts for 13 weeks in a row. Their album Cooley High Harmony was a big success, selling over 9 million copies. Their sweet love songs became favorites at proms, weddings, and all kinds of special events. Boyz II Men even went on tour with MC Hammer and won 4 Grammy Awards. Their second album, 2, was even more successful, selling around 12 million copies in the US alone. They made history by having back-to-back #1 hits on the Billboard charts, a record only matched by Elvis and the Beatles.
If Khalil was alive today, he would be sitting right in the sidelines with his big cigar and his big rings.
As the group became popular, they faced a tragedy that would change their lives forever. Their road manager, Khalil Roundtree, was shot and killed during an attempted robbery. This shocking event cast a dark shadow over the group's early career and left a deep mark on their hearts. The tragedy happened while Boyz II Men were staying at a hotel in Chicago. Roundtree and other members of the band's team were there when 3 men began knocking on hotel room doors. Roundtree and another road manager, Qadri El Amin, went out to stop the men. Unfortunately, during a struggle in the hotel's elevator, Roundtree was fatally shot and El Amin was injured, being shot in the knee. The whole situation was confusing and terrifying for everyone involved. A spokesperson from Motown Records, the label Boyz II Men was signed to at the time, said the killing was especially hard to understand. Boyz II Men were known for being a peaceful group, and their road managers were trusted people. Unlike some other music groups who might be surrounded by shady characters on the road, Boyz II Men were different. They were hardworking and had a clean reputation. The death of Roundtree seemed inexplicable and made people question how something so awful could happen to such good people. For the band, losing Roundtree was devastating. Nathan Morris, one of the members of Boyz II Men, shared how much Roundtree meant to them. He described Roundtree as more than just a road manager. He was a father figure, someone they could trust and turn to for advice and support. Roundtree had helped guide them through the ups and downs of their early career, and his loss left a huge hole in their lives. The band found a way to honor Roundtree's memory in a very special way. On their 1994 album, 2, they dedicated an interlude to him. The song, called Khalil, was their way of remembering the man who had meant so much to them. It was a small but meaningful tribute to someone they had lost too soon. Khalil Rountree's death was a turning point for Boyz II Men. It was a heartbreaking moment in their career, and it showed them just how fragile life could be. Despite the pain they felt, the group continued to move forward, always carrying his memory with them. Rountree's impact on their lives and careers is something they will never forget. Band members faced serious health challenges. Aside from the death of their manager, 2 of the band members, Wanya Morris and Michael McCary, faced serious health challenges that affected the group. Wanya Morris, known for his powerful voice, developed a polyp on his vocal cords. This is a growth that can make it hard to sing. As reported by Jet at the time, Wanya's right vocal cord was badly affected. His vocal cords are what made Boyz II Men's harmony so special, so this was a big problem for the group. The blend of voices that fans loved was no longer the same, and it caused a lot of stress for Wanya. But the most serious story comes from Michael McCary, the bass singer of the group. In 2016, he revealed that he had been secretly living with multiple sclerosis, MS, a disease that affects the nervous system. Michael first started noticing strange things happening with his body while he was still in Boyz II Men. At first, it was just some back spasms, but they became worse over time. Michael explained to TV life coach Ayanla Van Zan that the spasms kept getting stronger, and doctors warned him that he could end up paralyzed if he wasn't careful.
We've always loved Mike. We will always love Mike. He is our brother for life. He's always frat.
At the young age of 22, Michael had to face the fear of possibly losing his ability to walk. Despite his serious health issues, he didn't tell the other band members about what was going on. He kept his illness a secret, feeling like he couldn't open up. Michael's illness put a strain on his relationship with the group, and by 2003, he left Boyz II Men. His fellow band members, Nathan Morris, Sean Stockman, and Wanya, spoke about Michael leaving in interviews, saying that Michael kind of gave up when things didn't go well. They also said he didn't want to be involved with the group anymore. They even mentioned that they tried to reach out to him for reunions, but felt the bond was no longer as strong. They also said that their sound didn't change much without him.
Mike never really enjoyed being a singer. And what I mean by that is he did it because he could. It was an opportunity.
Okay.
But it was never really in his heart of hearts to really do it like the rest of us wanted to do it. Yeah.
These statements hurt Michael deeply, and especially since he had never told them about his illness. He felt betrayed by the group. In 2016, after revealing his diagnosis, Michael shared his feelings with Oprah, saying, "If I had to sum up what I got from my brothers in Boyz II Men, I would have to say betrayal, a broken bond." At that point, Michael said he and the band no longer talked.
Well, One Sweet Day was just a song that I had a concept for, just about people who had passed away that had been, close, or just different people that were lost, that were not part of my life anymore.
Also in the mid-1990s, Mariah Carey faced a personal tragedy when her sister Allison Carey was diagnosed with HIV. This news shook Mariah deeply, and it had a lasting impact on her. But it also played a big part in the creation of one of her most famous songs, One Sweet Day.
And I know you're shining down on me from heaven.
One Sweet Day is a powerful ballad that Mariah co-wrote with the popular R&B group Boyz II Men. The song was inspired by the loss of loved ones, and Mariah wanted it to be a message of hope and healing. She was thinking about all the people her fans had lost, whether it was family, friends, or even celebrities who had passed away. But there was another personal reason for Mariah to write this song. Her good friend and past music collaborator, David Cole, had died, and his death hit Mariah hard. She felt the need to create something that honored him and everyone who had been lost.
I know eventually we'll be together.
Mariah spoke about how everything came together when she wrote the song. It was meant to be, she said. She had already written the first part of the song, including the chorus, but she wasn't sure how to finish it. She had an idea of who she wanted to sing the song with: Boyz II Men. She was a huge fan of theirs and thought their voices would be perfect for the song. So she decided to wait until the right moment, even though she wasn't sure if it would ever happen. When Mariah finally played the song for Boyz II Men, the group was surprised. They told her that one of their members, Nate Morris, had written a song for his road manager who had passed away. The lyrics were almost the same as Mariah's song, and they fit perfectly with the music. It felt like a sign that everything had come together by fate. It was a moment that no one could explain, but it felt right. Mariah said, "Fate had a lot to do with that."
I went to Boyz II Men, and they happened to have the same, they had a situation that they were writing about, and that was ironically, melodically so similar to the song that I was writing. And we put the two songs together, and it became what became known as One Sweet Day.
As Mariah and Boyz II Men worked on the song, Mariah added more lyrics to the chorus, making it more personal. She wanted the song to relate to the AIDS epidemic, which was affecting many people at the time. She also thought about her sister Allison, who had been diagnosed with HIV in 1988. Their relationship became strained because of it, and they grew apart. Mariah hoped that the song could reach out to anyone who had lost someone they loved, especially those affected by HIV and AIDS. Mariah Carey once said that One Sweet Day was a way for her to connect with her fans, letting them know that they weren't alone in their pain. She wanted the song to be a way of healing, helping people find comfort in knowing that they would be reunited with their loved ones one day. The song quickly became a hit, and it resonated with people around the world who had experienced their own losses. The song became not just a tribute to Mariah's friend David and her sister Allison, but also a reminder for everyone that love and memories last forever. Now their song End of the Road is one of the most popular songs of all time. It was a huge success and topped the charts for weeks, but not everyone loved it. Some people had strong opinions about the song, especially its lyrics and style. Let's talk about why it got some criticism. Did you ever really listen to the words? The song tells the story of someone who can't let go of their partner, even though the partner cheats on them again and again. It's a sad tale of heartbreak, but some listeners feel it goes too far. Here's a part of the lyrics. "When I can't sleep at night without holding you tight, girl, each time I try, I just break down and cry. Pain in my head, I'd rather be dead." For some people, these words are a little much. They think it's unhealthy to love someone so much that you'd prefer death over sleeping alone. It sends the message that love means putting up with being treated badly. Critics believe this isn't a good way to think about relationships. Another part of the song that got negative attention is the spoken word section. Bass singer Michael McCary talks during the song, saying lines like, "All those times of night when you just hurt me and just run out with that other fella, baby, I knew about it. I just didn't care." Some listeners found this part embarrassing. They felt it sounded over the top and made the song feel less serious.
I hate to do it. And, ain't no love lost. I mean, this is 100 years later, so it doesn't even matter. But yeah, I had a bad experience in the studio with Boyz II Men.
In a recent controversy, Kandi, who is also a singer, had some tough experience working with the Boyz II Men. During an Instagram live session, the singer-songwriter spoke to legendary musician Eddie Leverett and his daughter about the most memorable times she's had as a singer-songwriter. And in response to their question about who was the most difficult person she's worked with, Burruss referenced the Grammy-winning group.
I hate to do it. And, ain't no love lost. I mean, this is 100 years later, so it doesn't even matter. But yeah, I had a bad experience in the studio with Boyz II Men.
I hate to do it, Burruss said, but then continued, "Ain't no love lost. I mean, this is 100 years later, so it doesn't even matter." But yeah, I had a bad experience in the studio with Boyz II Men. We fell out after that. It was an issue. I don't think I've ever been disrespected like that before in a studio in my life. It was crazy, really. But at the end of the day, that was a long time ago. Clearly, you know, we've moved past that or whatever.
It's about the attitude to what? Attitude.
We fell out after that.
Kandi did not go into many details about what happened, but she made it clear that it was a tough situation. Wanya Morris, a member of Boyz II Men, responded to Kandi's comments and seemed to dismiss her feelings. This made Kandi feel she needed to explain her side of the story. Kandi shared that she had been working on 2 songs with Boyz II Men. She felt it was important to talk about how they would split the songwriting credits before finishing the songs. In the music industry, splits refer to the percentage of the song's credits that each songwriter receives. If a song sells well, these splits can mean a lot of money in royalties. Kandi was used to discussing splits early on to avoid confusion later. However, when she brought it up, Boyz II Men reacted strangely. They started questioning her about why she was discussing splits so soon. Kandi explained that this led to a disagreement. She said, "They flipped and started behaving weirdly." Wanya Morris later shared his side of the story on Instagram Live. He said they were used to a different way of working, where everyone contributed and then discussed splits at the end. He explained, "We're from the old school. We write lyrics together. It's really about just building this whole thing together." Morris felt that Kandi was being difficult by asking about splits before they finished writing the song. He added that their working relationship became strained after this disagreement. Despite this drama, Kandi and Boyz II Men did work together again. However, Morris admitted he could take her or leave her. He even threw some shade at Kandi, implying he wasn't a fan of her approach. Kandi, on the other hand, said she was excited to work with Boyz II Men and had almost finished the first song when they started on the second. Kandi explained that she thought it was fair for everyone to know how they would share the credits as they began the second song. But the response from Boyz II Men was not what she hoped for. They initially offered her 10% of the song credits, which Kandi felt was unfair since she had done most of the work on the first song. When she expressed her feelings, they promised to give her 25%. After Kandi left the studio, she learned that Boyz II Men spoke negatively about her to her manager. They even claimed she didn't have the right to ask about splits. This left Kandi feeling insulted and disrespected. Although she loved their music, the negative experience made her hesitant to work with them again. Now, Kandi wasn't the only one that felt disrespected by the group.
Say, can you see?
In November 2024, the famous 90s group Boyz II Men performed the U.S. national anthem at the Las Vegas Grand Prix. Before the event, they promised fans a pretty sexy version of the anthem, which got people excited. However, things didn't go as planned. When they performed, many fans felt the anthem was disappointing. People said it sounded flat and off-pitch. The performance quickly became a topic of discussion online, with some calling it the worst national anthem of the season.
What so proudly we hailed at the twilight.
Chris Dealey, the chief editor of GP Fans US, even joked, "Congratulations, Boyz II Men, for the worst anthem rendition of the season." Fans shared their thoughts on social media, with one writing, "This Boyz II Men national anthem is horrific." Another fan commented, "Boyz II Men had some bangers, but man, that anthem was not good, lol." Some even said, "I can't believe I'm saying this, but Boyz II Men are flat." Despite their big reputation, the performance didn't meet the high expectations that many fans had for the group. It seems the anthem didn't quite hit the right notes, leaving some fans disappointed. In the late 1990s, Motown Records released an album called The Remix Collection without asking for permission from Boyz II Men. The album was made up of remixes of their older songs, like those from Cooley High Harmony and 2. These remixes added hip-hop beats, horns, and record scratches to the original tracks. Boyz II Men were not happy about this. They called the album unauthorized and substandard. This means they didn't approve of how it sounded, and they felt the album wasn't up to their usual quality. Many music critics agreed with the group. A writer for the Baltimore Sun even said that the group almost seemed like guests on their own song. This shows how strange the remixes were. as if the group wasn't fully involved in the music. The album didn't last long in stores. According to some music sources, it quickly disappeared from shelves, but the damage was done. This situation caused tension between Boyz II Men and Motown, making the group distrust big music labels. After this, Boyz II Men decided they wanted more control over their music. In 2004, they started their own record label called MSM Records. With this label, they could make their music the way they wanted and only work with big labels for things like distribution. Boyz II Men had to work extra hard to become successful because they started in R&B, which didn't always cross over into mainstream pop. Sean Stockman, a member of Boyz II Men, explained in the docuseries This Is Pop that white boy bands had an easier time reaching the top. He said, "We had to work twice as hard to get to what our birthright was." Even though bands like NSYNC and Backstreet Boys said Boyz II Men inspired them, their rise to fame looked very different. Nathan Morris of Boyz II Men explained that they weren't a manufactured group put together by a label. They built their image and sound from scratch and worked hard to represent their hometown of Philadelphia. "Wherever we went, we wanted people to know what Philly was about," Morris shared. Boyz II Men's hard work has paid off. Together, the band members are worth about $200 million. Each member, Wanya Morris, Sean Stockman, and Nathan Morris, is worth over $60 million. Even Michael McCary, their former bass singer, is still worth $20 million, despite not performing with the group anymore. One reason they've stayed successful is their decision to share their earnings equally. Nathan Morris told Forbes that they split their money no matter who wrote the songs or sang lead. "If one guy writes it, we all get paid," he said. This way, no one felt more important than the others. For Sean Stockman, wealth is about more than money. It's a mentality, and he said, he believes people need to value what they have, not just spend it. Boyz II Men paved the way for many boy bands, even when the road wasn't smooth. Their hard work, loyalty to each other, and love for their roots helped them stay strong for decades.